Welcome back to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. We're back in the building with a whole nother controversial topic tonight. We're live at Soul 21, the retail store, located in Northwest Mall, Houston, Texas. Now look, we got a real serious topic tonight. We got a topic that's been covered from here to Northern America. We got a topic that's been discussed all over the world, all over the globe, day in and day out. Okay, that topic is media mind control. Media mind control is the topic tonight. Now, there are some people that might say, well, I don't believe that the media is controlling anything, but I do believe that the media does have an agenda to program the minds of urban America, to program the minds of the upper echelon of wealth in America. Even though that they have money, they still probably feel like these people need to be controlled on a day-to-day basis. Being swept up into a matrix of control, of brainwashing, is a day-to-day occurrence these days. We have television shows, we have other forms of media such as magazines and whatnot that continue to dictate the way that we live on a day-to-day basis, while most of us as citizens all across the world continue on by saying that there is no agenda. But I'm here to tell you tonight that there is an agenda. Your mind is being controlled day in and day out, and you don't even know it. Your subconscious mind, spirit, and soul is being dictated from the left and to the right, up, down, each and every day of your life. And you need to know these things. If we're not being controlled and we're not being brainwashed, then how come we have so many examples in day-to-day media? So many school shootings and killings, so many massacres on every level of life. People getting shot, killed every day in schools, getting killed in movie theaters even. And a lot of these times you hear these cases blaming the media, saying that they looked at a movie, saying that they watched the TV show, saying that they listened to some form of music that caused them to act this way. And tonight we're going to go into full detail about the media and the way that they control your mind. I'm going to start with you, Malik Jackson. Please tell us, how is this media controlling the minds of everyone across the globe tonight?
Okay, this is Malik, CEO of Malik's Fragrances. And the reason the media is controlling a lot of the people's minds today because television have took over. And not just television, the type of TV shows they have on the television. And, parents are not really containing what their children should watch, because these TV shows that we have around us and what we're looking at is actually controlling the minds of the younger children. That's why you see younger children with these guns, because of the video game of Grand Theft Auto. One of the video games show you how to kill a policeman or shoot somebody, having other gang members shooting each other inside the video. So the media controls that because that's what it's called. It's called the television. It's called the program. So I'm here to program your mind. So the reason why the media is controlling because the parents have to take over. Yes. And the type of shows that they're having on is controlling to them to actually act like how they want them to act and not act in the way the parents have raising their children to act. So one thing about the television show, we have to contain our children to watch the shows that we presume for them to watch, and stop letting them play with a lot of the bull coning, the nonsense of and watching the nonsense television shows, because media is here to program you. That's what they're here to do, to program you. So they know what shows to put in and put on, and whatever station you put on. You take BET, for instance. BET used to have, segments with Mass Sports. They used to have Teen Summit, and they had something television that you could sit down and really just watch on a Saturday, and you can get educational. Now, all they have is movies, videos, and dance girls. That's it. So the media is here to actually prep you up to how they want you to be.
Okay, you just heard from Malik Jackson, my co-host of the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. Now, my other co-host, Arthur Jenkins. What do you have to say about this topic?
Wow, how are they controlling? Well, propaganda and marketing. Marketing is a powerful tool, man, and they use it well. Basically, psychology. They study people, and they have been studying people, and they know what makes us tick, or they know how to make us tick. Therefore, they're going to give us what is needed or what they want us to have in order to control us.
Yes.
You know, it's basically Geppetto and Pinocchio. You know, they are the puppet masters. We are the puppet on the string. People don't want to admit that or realize that. Therefore, they're going to make excuses for all this kind of stuff and continue to fall into the plan that's been set forth for them.
Yes. And I believe that myself as well. I believe that the plan has already been set. I believe that a lot of us have become the puppets to these masters, and they make us step how they want us to step and move how they want us to move. But the problem I'm having is a lot of us continue to have arguments and disagreements about this so-called agenda. And, you know, one of my biggest questions is if there's not an influence coming from the media, how come we have so many school shootings? I mean, I'm talking at least 80 to 90% of these school shootings that you hear about, some of these random movie theater shootings and all this craziness and madness, all these massacres seem to be blamed on time and time and time again on the media. Yes. Some movie that they saw, some movie scene that they're acting out. What's the deal with that?
Well, the deal with that is you got to understand that the media is here to control. That's the reason why they put certain things out on television and put certain things out in the community. I mean, you take a movie that used to have a lot of pride in there. Now they're putting movies where it's disgusting here, and this is the way you're supposed to treat people. This way this woman you should treat her. She treat this man in such and such way. And I think it's a lot of the producers, you know, the people who writing these scripts and putting it out there. They can't get it out there unless they put some type of disgrace in there. So the children see this, and this is the way they presume things to be. So what you have to do is get your child to watch and learning them, you know, before they, you know, watch these type of shows, because programming is what the media wants them to do. They want them to be how they want it to be. You know, Malcolm X said something some years and years ago. I mean, back in the 60s, he say the media can make you like who they want you to like and make you dislike who they want you to dislike. So this is what people don't understand. We believe, because we don't read a lot anymore. We don't read the newspapers anymore. We don't read books anymore. So we just go on what people tell us. So the media understands that, hey, we got all these viewers. We gonna tell them what we want them to know. So parents are not teaching their kids what they need to be teaching their kids anymore. So as long as we have the media and allowing our kids to watch these type of things, and we're watching them, we're programmed that way too.
That's right. We're programmed the same way.
Right.
I mean, while we're all sitting there collectively as a family, we're being programmed the same way too. Now, Arthur, you and I have had this conversation before as far as just really discussing over and over again as to how they keep pushing things further. They start out with something minute, and then they push it a little further and a little further and a little further. Can you elaborate on that right now?
That's how you get over. That's the test. See, if I can jump from here and go 50 feet, you would look at me and go, wow, or be astonishing. It would be big. You know, and take notice of that. Well, let's just go look at gas prices, right? Okay, we're going to raise it up 5 cents. You're going to complain the next day, but it's 5 cents. If I would have raised it 50 cents, you'd have a revolt on your hands, right? Everybody would go crazy. But in a month's time, that 5 cents would turn to 50 cents. But it was 5 cents, 7 cents at a time, so it made it more palatable. And you adjusted to that. But the big step was still coming. They just decided to take it in little bitty parts. And this is what they're doing to your mind. They'll get you here and adjust you to it. And once you get comfortable, they'll take it a step further. They don't just throw it on you. They'll adjust you to it and then get you palatable to it. It's okay and acceptable. Then I'm going to move you further.
Wow.
But let me ask you, that's a good point. And let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the whole media movement and agenda to brainwash a lot of people and making them go further, take things up just a little higher, try to reach another notch, as far as, like some of the music, pushing things, some of the television shows pushing things a step further, some of the sitcoms, you had some times where it was about being just girl on girl in certain songs, like some of the Lil Jon tracks we discussed back in the day. And as far as how, you made a point one time where Lil Jon talked about, girls kissing girls, and we enjoyed that. And, now we're building up on that, and we're bringing it to where the whole just homosexual agenda is just taking full throttle.
Well, again, it'll adjust you to where we need you to go. We're going to make this thing palatable for you. And once it's palatable and accepted, then guess what? Those that try to buck it are going to be shunned by the masses, because the masses are going to take this thing on. We're seeing the results of that right now. What's acceptable and what's not acceptable. You know, that's why we got this thing going now, to each his own and stay out of everybody's business and mind your own business and all this and all of that. But what you've done is you've taken a line in the sand and destroyed it. There is no order anymore. See, there was a time when there was order, there was standards, there was structure. Well, with each generation passing, the line has been moved. You know what I'm saying? The order has been changed to the point now you almost don't have order anymore. You just kind of got chaos and a free fall for everybody, because they told you to not think, even though they told you, well, they're telling you to think, but they're programming you not to think. Basically, you know what you are? You're almost like a computer. They're going to download this and download that and update you and update that till you become what they do. You're programmed to adjust to what these people's wheels are.
Well, this is the thing about it. You're a disgrace to cash. Money have made people disgrace to what they're doing for. Money is not bad, don't get me wrong, but it have made them disgrace to where, okay, if I'm the producer, it's my company, and I'm writing these scripts, and I want you to be in my movie. Okay, I'm gonna pay you a little extra cash because I want you to do this here. Now, if you want it, you go do it. It might not be in the script, because one thing we gotta understand: the artists, the stars in the movies, the artists that's on the radio don't run nothing. It's the people behind it will make you tick. So until artists start running their own, because they don't run anything, until people start running their own, they will have to listen, and they will have to take these roles and these plays to do this and disgrace themselves. So by you disgracing yourself, you're actually looking to and saying, okay, I have these little kids watching me.
Can they say no?
They can say no, but the money gonna make them say no, because I'm gonna put a little extra out there because I want to see what you go do. You understand what I'm saying?
Can they say no?
Huh? Anybody can say no, but they ain't gonna say no. That's the whole thing about it.
So we can say they may not control the background, but they control themselves.
Okay,
and
check this out. I was watching this show, and I think this show was called, my wife, she was watching this show called Preachers of Detroit. Hold on, though. And I'm seeing these people, and I'm saying you have the negative and the positive of it, but I'm saying, when have you started coming with shows like this? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm just simply saying, you don't control the aspect. The background is the money. No, they don't do that. But, you have the ability and the power to say, no, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. You're listening to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. Now, when we come back, we're going to discuss reality TV damage. We're going to discuss the ways you're being brainwashed and mentally broken down by reality TV shows on the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. TG Ryan's your host. And I'm in studio at Soul 21, the retail store located in Northwest Mall, Houston, Texas, with Arthur Jenkins and Malik Jackson. Now, we're going to get into reality TV shows. And we're going to talk about the ways you're possibly being brainwashed and mentally broken down by reality TV shows on a day-to-day basis. Now, you have reality TV shows from housewives to preachers these days. These reality shows have a scenario and a situation that fits every one of us. Each and every one of us. You see the guy that looks like you. You see the woman that looks like you. If you're a pastor and you're preaching, you even have the pastor that looks like you these days. And I, for one, believe that these reality TV shows have played a huge part in divorces. They played a huge part in relationships breaking up. They played a huge part in friends and relatives not speaking to each other anymore. How are some of these ways that the reality TV shows are damaging us, Malik?
Because the reality TV show is damaging us because people are not looking at the show. They're looking at the people. They look at the things that people have. They're not looking at the message that the people are giving. And the reason why they're bringing these shows, because I can disgrace you. If I put some on air and I know in certain things in certain communities I'm on Facebook because I can get these viewers watching these. So when you have, like I was just telling about the show earlier about the first time seeing the show Preachers of Detroit, about these, they had one guy who was a community activist, and they had the one guy, the other guy, I think he was driving a Bentley, and they living in these big, nice homes, which is okay. I don't have no problem with none of that. But when you talk about a community and people, and you trying to portray a certain role, these people are watching you. They're looking at you, you know. So if they're looking at you, you have to have being a moral figure. It's a different thing of God blessing you, and it's a different thing of you just taking advantage of people. So the thing about it is that what we have to do is that the media proclaims to put things in your mind for you to be programmed that way. And one thing we have to do is not look at what the people or what they have or what they're doing, and look at what type of message they're giving to see if they're just literally good or bad people.
Yeah, what is the message they're giving and what is the message they're showing? Well, you have to discernment, man. You have to look through with your third eye on a lot of this stuff. And I'm gonna say it, all this real preaching of this, ain't no God in that mess. And yeah, I said it, I don't care who don't like it. I said it, and I'll stand on it, and I said it. Now, reality TV, maybe when it started, I say, okay, you had reality TV way back then. We had Showtime at the Apollo and Star Search and stuff like this here.
Right.
But what you've done now is created a market of sell yourself. Thus and such, selling out yourself and other people. Mm-hmm. See, as long as I do what the masses want, I show my body, I, talk bad to my family, I neglect, all in the name of money. And the first thing people want to say, well, they getting their money. You hating because they getting their money. But what are they giving up to get that money? You understand? You see the outside of this here. Right. Can you imagine how miserable some of these people are? Right. Because now that they are puppets for these people, they are having to do what these folks say because they sign these contracts and doing whatever they have to do to get this money. You're a slave to the money now. Right. You don't even have the freedom. That's why when Dave Chappelle said no, what did they do? Well, we got to kill your character. We got to assassinate your name. He was crazy. He was a drug addict. Because all we know is Dave Chappelle walked away for $50-some million. That's crazy. And as Dave said, no, you saw the money. You didn't see the strings attached to the money. That's right. You didn't see what I was going to have to do or go through for that money. And it wasn't worth that to me. So you have to have some standards. And again, stand up and say what you will do and what you won't do.
Well, that's what I said earlier, Mr. Jenkins. I said they're looking at the people and not looking at the message. See, when we see Dave Chappelle take that $50 million, we was looking at him as a person. You know what I'm saying? We weren't looking at the message that he was giving because he gave a good message. But that's the thing about reality television. I know, but see, reality television is letting you know we know how to make these women act the way we want them to act, and we know how to make these men act the way we want them to act. So I'm gonna put these certain shows on in the community. So I remember the show Blackish, right? Mm-hmm. Blackish started coming on around Empire started coming on. Even though Blackish was a little funny show, it was a show about, couple, married, family. But when Empire came on, Blackish didn't get no more ratings. So I think they put it on and switched around a different time, a different day, because one thing about it, we like drama. So they understand we gonna put this show on at this here certain time because we gonna get these views here because black people like that. We always like to see somebody come up.
Well, in all of the communities, black community, the white community, and the Hispanic community, each and every one has these reality shows. These reality shows have scenarios that I believe that they set forth in characters to fit these scenarios and situations that look like each and every household. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, when you look at the TV shows, you see someone that looks like you. Mm-hmm. You're like, hey, I can relate to that. That's like me. But when it hits your subconscious mind, it gets into the deep parts and crevices of your subconscious. Right. You start acting and carrying on the same way that these people do on a week-to-week basis on a lot of these reality shows. Right. That's why I believe that they control your mind. They make you act a certain way by watching these shows. Now, how much of it is real at the end of the day and how much of it isn't real? We don't know. None of us know. We don't know. It could be scripted as a reality show. Okay. I mean, who knows?
It's scripted. It's very scripted. That's why I say very little of it is real. Right. It is propaganda set forth in a real, so-called real setting. Right. Is what they're doing to you. And people say accept it. I had a conversation about the Real Preacher in L.A. with somebody, and I said, man, I don't watch that foolishness. Right. Well, how you going to condemn the show when you don't watch it? So I tried, I'm going to watch this here. And after I watched it, this is what I said it was, some foolishness. You understand? This is what it is. It's foolishness. Because you try, well, these people are human and they're men. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But according to the Bible, when you take on these titles of bishops and all this shit, there's rules that come with it. You understand? And if you're violating the rules, you just in violation.
To me, reality, well, not just to me, to all of you listening, should understand that the reality is what's going on around you on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
Not these shows that they keep putting on. You got a lot of women that are trying to act like a lot of the housewives and people that they see on these shows. Okay, I'm not knocking the people on those shows. I mean, some of those people are good people. But, you know, I am going to say that they kind of up the ante a little bit. They push things further just a tad bit to control your mind, to get you acting that same way. Because guess what? Whenever their director says cut and the camera goes off and the lights go off at night, they go their separate ways and they may be getting along. But guess what? You, after it gets driven into your subconscious mind, continue to still carry on and carry that same that same show within you.
Right.
You carry it out in your real life and you make it your reality.
Right.
So when their camera goes off, your camera keeps rolling.
Right.
You are what you eat.
Right.
You are what you eat. Whatever you feed yourself is what you're going to become.
Right. But
You
the thing
understand?
it is too. What did I mean to say? The thing it is too. They don't even know who they are. You know, most of the people when they trying to take on these personality people, they don't even know who they are.
Well,
So that's why you take on the personality of a person.
You're losing your process in the middle of it.
Who they are, that's why they take on the personality.
You're losing yourself in the process of this feeding on this negativity.
Right, because you don't even know who you are. First of all, you have to know who you are. That's why they take the personality on these, like you say, the housewives of Atlanta, the housewives or whatever. The women take these personalities on because they don't know who they are. You understand what I'm saying? And even the people on that reality don't even know who they are. Everybody's acting like somebody else. And that's the thing about it. So what you have is a generation of people who are tore up in the mind because media are controlling them. So when the media cuts off, they don't even know who they are.
Well, I know for me, when I deal with people, especially as a man, when I talk to women and I talk to them and they say they watch TV and I just, well, what kind of program do you watch?
Right.
Well, you watch the Love and the Hip Hop and the Real Housewives of this and this, that, and the other. You know what's in my mind already? You full of drama and you're coming with it. Because eventually that drama's going to manifest in your life. And if I deal with you close enough, it's going to manifest in mine because I'm in close proximity with it. So either I'm not going to deal with you or I'm going to deal with you from a distance.
And then I'm going to tell you another thing, too. If you look at them shows, and then the men that's in these women's lives, either he's a good man or a bad man, the way that they look at it. So they're trying to find somebody like that. And that's how they're going to judge. This is how the media have the women now judging men. They don't know what a real man is. So this is what they do. They judge and say, you know, I want you to be like him. Or I want you to be like the way he is. Now I'm going to be like who I am. You know what I'm saying? Because that's TV. That means that's fake.
Well, it's been
That's a persona that
this
they
has
put
been
on.
set forth since way back in the 50s or something when they had James Dean with the blue jeans and the white t-shirt with the cigarettes rolled up in it with the hair parted and the grease on the motorcycle.
Right.
They started sending forth the imagery right then and there and made the bad guy the lovable guy.
Right.
We touched on this a few weeks ago.
Right.
They made the bad guy the lovable guy. And everybody wants to love the bad guy. Everybody wants to be the bad guy.
Because you know why? Because every woman wants to change the bad guy to some type of image they want to change him into. See, it's all about changing people's image, but if I could change that. Men don't change women. Women trying to change men. That's our problem.
Let's get back to this. Let's get back to...
Wait, that's your opinion.
Yeah, let's get back. I want to get back to the media, the people at the helm.
That's parts of the media. That's parts of the media. The media is trying to change because they already understand. We're going to do it ourselves. It's just like throwing some scraps of meat out there and letting them fight. The media is the people that's throwing the meat out there and letting you fight while they sit back and film it. You understand what I'm saying?
That's an aspect.
How are these reality shows though bringing forth damage? How are they completely damaging? I mean, completely wrecking the households.
You're seeing what is acceptable behavior. And you're manifesting it. You're seeing the damn, this stuff is okay. And as long as I get paid for it, it's okay. You understand? And then you start doing anything for the money.
Yeah.
Which includes selling who you are. That's just selling your soul for the dollar.
And you know, you have a lot of people that are addicted to these reality shows, man. I mean, they leave work early to go home and sit and watch these reality shows. I mean, they are consumed mentally by these reality shows that have all these people with, I'm going to say, probably fake arguments, fake angry scenarios, and then you go home and you start arguing with your husband, or you start arguing with your boyfriend or whatever for no apparent reason, and you really don't know why. I can tell you why, because possibly you've gotten riled all up by watching these reality shows consistently.
Well, they've said these people are they study psychology is what basically this is. They understand the brain, how the brain works, the serotonin and all this stuff. That's why they can get into certain things that's going to move and motivate you, and they know this here, and they keep you on the edge of your seats because this is what's happening inside of your body. Now, people don't think it's that complex, but it really, really is. If you start studying the body and the brain, you'll start noticing that there are certain beats that'll come on the radio, and you can't be still. You start moving. You know, you can't be still. You cranked up. You just turned up. Yeah. You don't know now word on that song, but that beat got you going because they know it has infected your brain and released these doggone chemicals which control you. And they studied this over decades, over centuries even, and that's and such. Now they're using it to control you.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. It's about control. That's why the whole topic is media mind control. If I don't have control you, how you going to watch the show? How you going to know about the show? How you going to know scenarios about the show? So I got to get your mind, you know what I'm saying, intact with the control that I'm trying to give.
Yeah, they're in the control, but where's the control going? Yes, we're going to get to control.
That's why it's go. It got to go.
People going is what I'm saying.
Oh shit, nowhere.
They are trying to. So to control the masses mean I'm going to keep you dumbed down, which is what they're doing, so you can be easily controlled, manipulated, and ran.
But there's also got shows that have upliftment, but we don't watch them shows because what? They don't give you the type of
wait a minute.
Understanding.
Wait. How many reality shows do we see though that are uplifting? Because I don't know very many. I don't know very many reality shows, not just shows that talk about real issues.
But you know what?
I'm talking about these reality shows.
I like that.
How many of those reality shows have scenarios where everybody's getting along? They're basically zero, because if everyone's getting along on those shows, who's going to keep tuning in just to watch everybody getting along with each other?
Well, you know, I kind of liked it that Ron's House show. You know, he had him and his kids and the family.
But they had some drama here and there.
I mean, they had drama, but I liked it, the type of things that he did with the kids to show them. Like I remember one episode when I think the little one Diggy, he was you know, just being wasteful, and you know, Ron told him, hey, look, wasteful that's not good. You know, you don't just being wasteful because you have it. You know, you treat things and you do things at a perspective, and you treat things the way that they need to be. You know what I'm saying? Just have it because you just having it.
How many seasons did that show say on TV?
Well, it didn't stay long.
Okay.
It didn't stay long.
You got two somewhat positive shows as opposed to 500 negative shows.
Because we were programmed to negative stuff. You know,
look, they just gave the Kardashians something like $100 million+ for another, I don't know how many seasons, but I know it's seasons of this show. And, you know, I expect them to continue on. Ron's House, I don't think comes on anymore. I don't know, because I don't tune into the reality shows that often. I am aware of them, though. And all I can say is that all the reality shows that I know that still exist on TV really revolve around a lot of negativity and couples arguing and bad mouth kids.
Because that's what they have to give, man. That's what they have to give, because it's all about control. I want to control you, your family, your children, and I want them to be how I want them to be. So these certain shows that they're giving them, this is what they expect. So that's why they know how to air certain shows. If you notice something about, they had a show on, it really tripped me out, Two Broke Girls. You know, this is the first time I ever seen this show about these two white girls that's working in
that's a sitcom.
Yeah, it is a sitcom, but you know, the type of shows that just have on the program, because now you having people who thinking they are that.
I'm sorry, go on, finish what you were saying.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say this. We've got to understand that the people that control everything is at the helm, and that they're putting this stuff out to control. We have to get to the why. We're seeing that they are doing it. Why are they doing it?
The reason why they are doing it, because it's all about control again. They go do this because they want you. Okay, you take...
what do you mean by they want me is what I'm saying. What does you mean that they want me? Well, they want me what?
They want to be in control of you.
Why?
Why? Because I can control you to watch these shows, to get these ratings, to get these people. And in
a bigger
society,
purpose behind. There's a bigger thing
in
behind.
society, I can make you how I want to make you, and people look up to you. Because just like he was saying earlier,
I'm not talking about that. We got that aspect down. I'm saying, why are they doing all this stuff in the first place? To get you under the control and the influence and the guidance of themselves. What is the purpose of doing this?
So I can control you.
Why do they want to control us?
So I can have access to you, for I can have access to your community to keep them down drainage, for them to can be uplifted. You understand what I'm saying?
This is all that I'm saying, and this is what we have to get. For there's an influence. They're going to make millions and billions of dollars off of you, and at the same time keep you bottom feeder.
But that's the whole key.
Influence, manipulation, control. That's the basis of these reality TV shows. Okay, they're gonna have the financial aspect of it covered. They're gonna keep shelling out the money to these reality TV stars to get them to continue to act out the scenarios that are gonna control and manipulate your mind to do this 24 hours of the day, and not only the 2 hours of the day that you see these people so-called having these situations going on when they're on camera.
Right.
You're listening to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. We're going to go to a break real quick. The topic of discussion tonight is media mind control. You're listening to us live in studio at Soul 21, the retail store, Northwest Mall, Houston, Texas. I'm your host, TG Ryans, joined by my co-host, Malik Jackson, and my other co-host, Arthur Jenkins. We'll be right back. To book me, TG Ryans, for any speaking engagements, hit me up on my email, soul21retail@gmail.com. That's soul21retail@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. TG Ryans, Malik Jackson, Arthur Jenkins, live in studio, discussing media mind control tonight. Okay, we're talking about media mind control. The reason why this so-called media is controlling the minds of the people is to basically force an agenda upon you to make you do what they basically want you to do. You're going to be a puppet. They're going to be a master. And we see this happening all the time. It's happening through all forms of media, from music to magazines to TV shows. And as we just talked about in the last segment, reality shows, these reality TV shows. But it continues on. And for this segment, we're going to discuss the parental advisory of the situation. We're going to talk about how entertainers are replacing the parents and the parental influence in these different households. You have a lot of entertainers that have taken the place of a lot of these parents, the parents that don't have time for the children, the parents that just sit the child in front of the video games and in front of the TV shows and let these so-called entertainers guide them down the road that they should be going down, going in the path that you should down. Really replaces with a lot of the parents. The parents don't really know what a lot of the kids are watching. They don't know what the kids are into. And each and every time that your child watches a certain TV show or TV reality show, he or she is being programmed each and every moment that they're watching some of these shows. We're not bashing everything that comes on TV, but there are some things that your kids are being controlled by when they watch it on TV. Malik, what do you think about that? What are these kids being controlled by? How are they being controlled, and how are these entertainers taking the place of these parents in the household?
We could just start with the in the music industry, with the rappers. A lot of kids, man, they just, they hung up on a lot of the rappers, and which is not, everybody's in rap is not bad, but but they're just hung up. And especially when you're raising kids and you're a single parent, they're gonna flock to something or someone who they can relate to, and if their parents not paying them no attention. And really, society has a real big thing on that, because now, like I said once before, I think that was another segment we had, the kids don't even want to be doctors and lawyers and businessmen no more, and business women and engineers anymore. Hey, if I can make it in the rap career, shit, I'm good. I want to be like such and such. So the thing about it is that parents have to get back in control and take the television away sometime from the kid. I remember as being young, sometime, we'd be on punishment, we couldn't watch TV. So, now the TV stay on 24 hours. When I was growing up, TV cut off at 12 o'clock. And here go the national anthem coming on. And that means TV is cut off, it's gone. You got to go to bed. Now TV is on 24 hours, so that's a programming for the child to act according to how the media wants them to act, and the parent don't have any control because 90% of the time they're sleeping with the TV on and not telling that child to cut that TV off.
Go ahead, Arthur.
I just think it's so much going on there, man. When I was growing up in my mother's home, my grandparents' home, there was one TV in the house. It was in the living room. All the way till I graduated high school, I never had a TV in my bedroom. Okay, so if you was watching TV, you was watching it in the living room where it could be monitored. Number one, you know what I'm saying? But again, now with this generation, we have a bunch of parents who are still partying, turning up, cranked up, all this good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't got time to be parents because you're too busy partying and allowing these other influences to come in. Yeah. Now, the influence from rap, let's go back to when we was coming up in the 80s and 90s. There was a black power movement in the early 90s, late 80s with the rap and stuff. And it was started off by this gangster rap genre that came into it. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that was done purposely. Right. Purposefully. Well, of course. Was to get you off course and to get you thinking like this here. So all of a sudden now Boys in the Hood, which is a movie that we all watched and probably enjoyed. But now guess what? Like Spice One said, we living like we in these movies. We are manifesting this stuff into our lives. Right. And we're becoming this. So now it's cool for our boys to go to jail. It's cool for our girls to slide down a pole. When one time that was frowned down upon. You understand what I'm saying? So now a dude didn't feel like he was a man unless he'd have been locked up. That's a bragging right now. You know what I'm saying? I did a stretch down here such and such and blah, blah, blah.
That's a great point because all those things that you mentioned are going full throttle right now. I mean, they are really, really, really pushing that agenda right now. And it starts with the media. You got to understand something, people. This can't happen without media influence. That's why we're talking about this tonight. It's media mind control. If the media can control the subconscious mind of yourself, being the parents, if it can control the subconscious mind and spirit of your children, then they just won. They just won the whole ball game. You need to monitor what's going on that television set. You need to monitor what's being heard by your child and not just laugh it off all the time. If you see something on TV, for example, when you're sitting there as a family and you're watching something with your kids that you don't agree with and it just pops up on the television set, don't just laugh it off with your kids. Tell them, hey, look, that's not cool right there. What you just saw, that's not cool. At least take the opportunity to explain to them how that's not cool on a day-to-day basis. It's not cool when they go to school. It's not cool outside of the school. Don't just laugh it off and sweep it under the rug. Take that opportunity to let them know that, hey, that's not good right there. What you just saw on that screen is not good. And that is the way that you can begin to diffuse the effect of the mind control that the media is bestowing upon a lot of us these days.
Well, they've definitely done that, man, and we're going to have to take control back, man. We're going to start purging our systems of this madness. It just ain't no way around it, man. Yeah. But it's hard to do because you're at a pivotal crossroad because there's so many people who are happy with the nonsense. Mm-hmm. They're reveling in the nonsense. Yes. You understand? And this is causing a greater divide. And maybe this is what we need to do. Maybe there needs to be some separation. You understand? In order for people, because good and bad, you know what I'm saying? Don't coexist in the same space. It don't kind of work. You know, when you get black and white together, you get gray. The danger about gray is you can't see through it. Yes. In the light you can see, and even you can illuminate the dark. But when it's gray, you can't see through that. Yeah. And they got us in this gray area. Let's get back to the movies. Let's get back to the rap. It went from the gangster rap till I'm hard and I will gun you down to now our boys are walking around with dresses on. freely. And when you say something about it, see, this is what I'm saying. It's all this stuff has been put in place and has been accepted over the years. It's just back in the early 80s and 90s, let somebody coming out looking like Young Thug did. He'd have got ran off the block.
Of course.
Definitely. Go ahead, Malik.
Because first of all, being king of the block, because like I said, they don't even know who they are. See, the parents are not taking responsibility like they used to, because raising these kids now, man, is kind of very hard in a society. When society like the way it is, you got reality shows, you got music, you got all this here and this talking about, and then sex became so big now. To everything is sex. I remember when Facebook first came out. It was just for particular friends, you know what I'm saying? And you post certain things. Now they just posting in and everything. They got X-rated people all on there and posting and all this type of,
Control. The dumbing down of society. Yeah. We have seen it. We are witnessing it now. Whether people want to accept it or not, we have been dumbed down. Tell you how stupid some of these kids are. We live in a society now where the lines are blurred between social media and real life. These two fools, I think we saw it a couple weeks ago, where they went and stole all that stuff and filmed themselves and put it on social media, because they cannot determine you did what I'm saying?
Yes.
That you just put this out for the world to see, dummy.
Yes.
And then you wonder why you caught.
But the crazy thing about that is they're even being driven. See, the media is even forcing them to do that because they want to be superstars. They feel like, hey, if I'm not a star, I'm a nobody. So that's even controlling those fools that did that. Somewhere in their subconscious mind, it's in there that, hey, if I'm not a star, I'm a nobody. So they went and did something stupid so that they could be on TV.
You know how bad this is, man? All of us rushed, be standing in line for the new iPhones and iPads and all these other things, gadgets and gadgets. What's my boy name? Just recently passed. Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Steve Jobs, who was the head of Apple, didn't even allow his own kids to use those products, while we are.
Wow.
Didn't know that, brother. Didn't know that.
Steve Jobs didn't even allow his kids to use all that stuff that he created that made him a billionaire. But we rushing to get our children this stuff so we can feel like somebody and they can feel like somebody with a bunch of stuff that holds no value and no substance.
The reason why he probably let them use it, but he didn't probably want them to just totally depend on that. Also use your mind, because once you start using these iPads, iPhones, you don't even use the way you think anymore because they're thinking for you.
Exactly.
So he probably let them
phone numbers no more than nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So he probably let them use a little bit of it, but he also told them, hey, look,
he understood the dangers.
Right.
Of what
Right.
And he understood. He understood the dangers. I told somebody a few years ago, hey man, be careful with we talking about the smart TVs and all that kind of stuff, but having that stuff in your house. We had that conversation a while back. Samsung a couple weeks just released of themselves about talking and what you see in front of those Samsung TV, because it's being recorded. But when you told people that a couple years ago, oh man, you crazy, you just talking crazy. They realize what's been given to you.
Jill Scott made a CD. I never forget her first CD. Who is Jill Scott? And at one of them songs I used to listen to at the end, watching me. And she was saying, like the TV, that's the television, that certain things was going to come upon a time that these people are watching you. Mm-hmm. So this is what they're doing. We don't know. We just go out and buy the new stuff. Yeah. We don't know what's in there or what's going down.
But how do they continue to force feed your mind with whatever they want you to act like, become in the future? If you're a child, how are they continuing to program the mind through these TVs and whatever?
Well, I think it started years ago with the Nielsen ratings. Has anybody ever asked themselves what the Nielsen ratings are?
No, what are they?
You understand? These people put a box in certain people's homes and they monitor what these people are watching. Mm-hmm. On television. So they start basing things based off, this is what these type of people, they start looking at the demographics, the ages, they start getting all their stats and figures together, and therefore now what are they doing? We're going to make a plan as to how to come in and at these people and what to give them. And this is what they're doing.
Media influence through social media, televised media, and media publications. That's what we're discussing tonight on the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. Media mind control. Okay? Ask yourselves this question. Am I being controlled by the media? And if I am, in which ways? How am I acting different? How are the people around me acting different? Media Mind Control on the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. T.G. Rhynes, Malik Jackson, Arthur Jenkins live in studio discussing media mind control. Now, we're going to give you solutions to this madness, to this media mind control madness. Okay, how you can maintain your sanity, your morals, your family unit within this media mind control society. Is hard. It's hard to maintain your family, the stability of your family, the stability of your own mentality, the stability of the mentality and behavior of your kids and your children. With so much influence coming from all these different media publications, televised media, social media, the temptation is all around. The audacity to control you in the minds of your children is there. Whether you believe it or not, is there. You see it happening every day. You see your kids acting in a whole nother way, and you're saying, hey, I didn't teach them that. You see your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or even just your friends even acting different, and it's possibly because it could be 1,000,001 ways and reasons why, but a lot of times it starts with media. A lot of these things start with the media programming that you're getting. How are these people being controlled? Well, not being controlled, but how can they stop the control, so to speak? We know how they're being controlled, but how can they stop the control or at least monitor it?
Well, parents just got to start just being back parents again and start listening to their kids and start putting visions back in their kids and telling their kids they need to start setting some goals. Take their television limit, because one thing you can't do now, I ain't going to say take the whole television away from them, because you can't, because they got television on their phones now, they got television everywhere. But just try to limit that and just trying to start being parents and just be who you are.
Right.
Wow. You got to build a foundation, man. Basically, do you want to take the red pill or the blue pill? You understand? Do you want to continue to live in this dream world and accept all of this perversion, this evilness that is given unto you, or do you want to wake up and look at the real world for what it is and decide how to maneuver accordingly? For me, myself personally, there are two movies that I watched that really did something to me. One of them was Demolition Man. The other one was The Matrix.
Yeah.
When I watched those movies at first, I didn't quite get it, but I watched them again. And I was saying, what am I really seeing here, man? There's a world, people, inside of the world in which we inhabit and live. And until you accept that and realize what's going on, there really is no hope for you. Until you decide and embrace and then decide to want to change. And understand this, when you do buck the system, there's going to be some repercussions for doing so. But you have to understand, do I want to make a stand? You understand? Or do I just want to continue with the flow? It's really up to you. And I decided for myself I had to make a stand because I can't accept the status quo anymore, which means question authority. Realize what's going on around you and start to saying, hey, man, I'm going to fight it. I'm not going to go out like this because you're going to go out one way or the other. How are you going to go out? You know, I'm going to die on my feet as opposed to groveling and living on my knees.
I think another solution that we have also, and that's a really good point. Sound like a real good solution coming from Arthur Jenkins there. And, you know, just to add to what he just said, I feel like another solution we have to this problem and to this madness is to be able to start playing board games together again. Sometimes maybe you might need to turn the radio off and the TV off and put the cell phones down for just a while and have a family night where you pull out the Monopoly game, you pull out the chess game, you pull out a deck of cards, and you sit there and you laugh and you have a good, friendly competition, a family fun game night. Go to the store and buy yourselves Frisbees again. Go outside, throw the Frisbee back and forth amongst each other. Laugh and talk. Do that again. Start having meals together as a family and not just going and one person is going in this room. You have the other person going in another room. You have the father going in another room. You have the mother going in another room. The whole household is split up in half during dinner time. You may need to start sitting there together at an appointed time each and every night and eating together as a family. You may say, well, hey, I don't understand how that's going to be effective. Let me explain you how that's going to be effective. When you have that dinner time again with your family, and you sit there and you eat together as a family with the television off, with the cell phones down, or at least on vibrate or something, you're able to discuss what happened during your day. You're able to communicate with one another. You're able to ask your kids what happened at school today and listen for clues to see if anything crazy is going on. And then you give them a chance to bond and connect with you. And you give your spouse a chance to bond and connect with you. Okay, all the way around, and you connect as a family, and you have that cohesiveness that can't be broken by social media, by media publications, or any types of media of that sort.
What I can say, the solution, what you just said, Mr. Rhines, is totally excellent, correct. And we just, as parents, have to just get back to being parenting again. And when you go to the table and eat, take them phones and put them damn phones up, man. Please do, because this give me time to talk, and that's how you be creative. You can't be creative on a machine all day. You know, you got to use your brain for something, and you brainstorm together as a family. So when you're eating at the dinner table, you talk about things that's creative. You never know a lot of things started at the dinner table. Businesses, people being successful. I mean, everything started at that dinner table, you know, but take them phones and put them up. Put the machines up for a while. Unplug.
Good, healthy conversation. Now, you asked for a solution. I kind of went there a minute ago, but I really felt what I said. We have to get back to basics. Turn the phones off. Turn the television off. Read books. Converse.
Good point.
You understand?
Very great point.
Take a family trip. You know, vacation. Get in tune with nature. Do things like this here. I know somebody saying, man, I don't do all of that. Maybe you should. You'd be surprised what you like if you try. You understand?
Yeah.
Take some time for yourself, man, to start meditating and really getting inside yourself to learn who you are. But what I said about foundation, you have to build this foundation for yourself and build a strong house on that foundation. It has to be a strong foundation to build a strong house.
Yeah, you do.
You know, you build a foundation to raise your family in. Even like my boy T.I. did a while back. I remember watching that show when he made his family go out camping. And he told him, I'm getting all these, no phones, no computers, no nothing going. And he confiscated everything electrical from himself, his wife, everybody.
Yes.
We're going to go out here and be a doggone family.
Yes.
We're going to talk.
Yes.
Start spending time with your kids. Effective. When your kids get in the car with you, turn off some of that music and talk to them.
Right.
There's no need for you to have your 15s blasting when you got your 6-year-old and 4-year-old in the car with you,
And
man.
when you get in the car, don't get on the phone. Talk to your sons and daughters. Don't get on the phone talking to your friends, your cousin them, and all that. Talk to your children and let your children understand that we have a genuine conversation.
And that's how you can diffuse the whole impact that being controlled by the media will have on your kids and on yourself, by just keeping the cohesiveness of the whole family unit together and it just really staying tight that way. And nothing, and I mean nothing, will be able to infiltrate that. And you won't have to worry about the brainwashing that's going on a day-to-day basis.
I'll agree. And at least if you give them a foundation, you know you gave it to them. Their decisions are theirs. But it won't be because they weren't taught better.
But then, too, it goes back to where you have to understand, cut everything off and unplug and understand how that creative brain of yours that you was given for free, go to work.
Sounds good to me. We'll be right back after this break with our final thoughts.
Hello, listeners. This is Arthur Jenkins, co-host of the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. Your opinions, your comments are very important to me, so feel free to hit me up on my Facebook page, Facebook Arthur Jenkins. Thank you for your support. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again.
Welcome back to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. Media mind control has been the topic of discussion tonight. We're going to get into our final thoughts. Malik Jackson, I'm going to start with you. Do you have any final thoughts for all these listeners globally that have been listening to us tonight?
Parents, limit your children on television. Also, you limit yourself on television and learn to watch things that's educational. I know you're going to watch some things that you want to watch, but start watching educational things to, set them juices off in your creative mind state, and also to your kids. So limit that and just go back to being parenting and just be original and do you, and try to raise your kids the best way you can and raise them on things that's positive. Just start getting these kids some vision and start, having them set goals and make plans. That's my whole idea. Every Thursday when I come to this radio show, I always promote goals and plans and visions. So we need to get back and understanding that's what we need to start doing. And my final thoughts is being creative, and make sure your kids are being creative and start being producers.
Arthur Jenkins, you got any final thoughts for the listeners?
Think, people. It's not illegal to think yet. Use your brain. When your gut instinct tell you something is not good, is wrong, listen to that. You understand? Don't have to stop accepting everything as what it is, and stop using all this stay out of people's business and stuff. Everybody's business is our business. Learn how to say what's right and wrong and stand on it, and stop accepting everything that comes your way.
And my final thoughts for the night, it's real simple. Keep the family unit together, communicate, and talk on a regular basis. Turn the cell phones off, turn the TVs off, at least for an hour every night, and communicate. It's been a pleasure listening to the Soul 21 Street Radio Show. T.G. Ryans, Malik Jackson, Arthur Jenkins. We've been talking to you about media mind control. Please tune in again next week for another great and controversial topic. We're going to keep them coming. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta, Connecticut, New York City, Corpus Christi, Baytown, Texas. Soul 21 Street Radio Show, Media Mind Control. Signing off.